Mike's up.
Hey everybody, it's Lloyd with Perfect Crust Pizza Liners and Incredible Bags, joined today by the one and only Mr. Paulie Gee of Paulie Gee's and Paulie Gee's Slice Shop in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, New York. There he is. How you doing, man?
Good. How's everybody?
Everybody's doing great and eager to see you. I got to tell you, so thanks so much for joining us, first of all. And you've been on Perfect Crust Instagram Lives. The last time you were on, you talked with Eric, and that was back in August 21st, 2020. So it's been a while.
Seems like yesterday.
I know, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I was super jealous that Eric did the interview and not me. I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. But first of all, just wanted to chat about how things are going. I know that things are starting to open up again, and kind of wanted to see how that's been going for you.
Well, it's been great because my restaurant no longer looks like the Nuremberg trials. Okay, we don't have plexiglass between every table, and we're at full capacity. But the best thing is, almost every table I go to, there's somebody who's visiting from out of town, and we didn't have that for 15 months at all, and that's just such a great feeling. So it was a great sign to see that all back. So are we where we were before? No, we're getting there. But and the slice shop has really been a savior for us all along. We're about to be fully open in the slice shop, I think in a week. Where you could actually walk in and walk past the counter and walk to the back, and that's a really good feeling too. So
yeah, so it sounds like things are going in the right direction. I gotta say that when I think about kind of what this period's been until things opened up, I always think of you because you seem to me like you enjoy hosting so much that that's just like probably the thing that you missed. And I always think that as we open up, that's going to make Paulie Gee happy. So
absolutely, I love to go around and talk with people, talk pizza, and I couldn't really do much of that before. And the other thing is the music. I love playing music for people. And, I didn't even, there's still an opportunity to put an outdoor setup in the street. I didn't want to play that game. I wanted my restaurant back the way it was, being able to, have people inside in a nice environment. So I didn't do it at all. I can't play my music outside, right? You got to worry about the weather. And besides, I have one wood burning oven, and, the seats that I have inside are about all it could handle.
yeah.
Without the waits getting too long. And as it is, it's been really challenging because people aren't coming back, to work. And people are leaving. They get it, it's very competitive. People are leaving for better offers. And, I have to bring new people in. And even though they learn fast, it's great. At first, it was very hard to hire people. But I realized if I put out something that said I wanted to bring people in who wanted to learn about the pizza business, I'd get the right people who would really, really work at it and not just working to make the buck. And they learn really quickly. But it could be a little quicker.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That that fact that you're kind of just trying to put out there that you're trying to get people who are interested in learning gets you the right people. I think that's really, really cool. That's awesome.
It's I brought in about 6 people now, I think, but they're all learning how to do wood-fired pizza. I also brought in a few people at the slice shop, and this is when I didn't think I could hire anybody. We opened up down in New Orleans. It's been a terrible challenge down there, and finally that's starting to pick up a little. But when when the government could pay you more than I could pay, that's the way it's going to be. And people, I think they're so smart. They say, "Oh, you're just not paying enough." I guarantee you, the people who say that, they never ran a business in their life.
I'll bet you're absolutely right about that. I got 100% guarantee of that. Yeah, the whole process of getting to this point where things are going in the right way, it makes me think of, I'm not a big white water rafting person, but the times that I've been, it feels like there's times that it's crazy and you're like, oh, you're paddling like mad. You're like, are we going to survive? Or you can hear falls up ahead and you're like, what is going on? And then there's other times that it's kind of gets a little better and things are under control. And it kind of feels like that's sort of the part of the journey we're in now where, things are looking better. We don't know what's ahead, but at the same time, it's not as crazy as it was before. So
yeah, I think we know what's ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely think we know what's
A
ahead.
lot of pizza ahead. That's what I think.
What I love, you mentioned whitewater rafting. What I never whitewater rafted in my life, but I'm a skier.
Yeah,
I will be again if I could lose a few pizza pounds here, pandemic pounds. Uh, but when you're doing that,
yeah,
just you're thinking about nothing but that. It's such a great feeling. So,
yeah.
um, and just so when you're trying to make the restaurant work, it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Paulie, we've never met, but and yet I feel like I know you. And this is when I said that I was super jealous that Eric got to interview you last time. This is why I feel like I know you, partly because you remind me a lot of my wife's cousin Gino. He's now passed, God bless. But let me explain it. He just, like you, I feel like he just lived life. He enjoyed it. He just like wrung everything out of it, kind of in the same way I think that you do. He enjoyed hosting people over at his house and cooking and putting on music. Have you heard this LP before? Have you tried this wine? Having conversation. I mean, he never owned a restaurant, but boy, when I think of him, I think of you and the other way too.
He should have owned the restaurant because he would have been a very happy man if that's the way he was in the first place. And
Yeah.
that's just the way I was. That's what I would do at home. And now I have people coming to me where, I used to try to figure out how to get people to come to me so I could entertain them. But, I'm very fortunate because there are lots of people. It's very important to interact with the guests. At least, I'm trying to figure out how to make the screen bigger here, full screen, but I'll forget about it. It's very important. People appreciate that. You look at my reviews, 9 out of 10 will mention that, that nice man was there and Paulie Gee was there. He came and talked to us. He checked out, yada, 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 yada. And people like that. And fortunately for me, I love doing that. There are other people who own restaurants and don't like doing that at all. They know it's important to do it, but they're not having a good time while doing it. And I found myself in a place where I have created a job or a business for myself that I can operate the way I love to live. Okay, do I do it? And you can't do everything the way the rules say. You got to do this, got to do that. What's the unit cost for your pizza? I don't friggin' know what the unit cost is. I don't care. I know, I'll buy the best ingredients that I can get at the best price I could find, and I'll sell it for as much as the market will bear. And I don't do those things, and because I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want to have to go to my investors and fill out a profitability analysis. And I was able to do that, which is a wonderful thing. And I hope everybody gets to do that. And I think even though it may be not textbook the way I run my restaurant,
Uh-huh.
because I'm happy, I think it comes across. I mean, I
Yes.
say I'm happy, but when somebody tells me, "Oh, I can't work this Friday," even though they're on a schedule, you tell them to check the email. You're emailed 3 times a day or whatever. I put the email out on Thursday, and on Monday, "Oh, I can't work this Friday. I got yada yada yada," and those are times that I'm not happy, but you deal with it because you're doing something for yourself that you love. So
Well, I think that's what people appreciate about you. I mean, there's a couple things. I'm sure the guests appreciate the host experience. They love interacting with you. They get that you love what you're doing. But I think a lot of what maybe people in the pizza or restaurant world, get and love about you is that you go full gas, and that like you if I had to think, like, if I asked somebody like, hey, what do you think Paulie Gee's about? And I'm sure they'd say he's about chasing your dreams, believing in yourself, taking on a commitment, kind of stepping up. And I think once you said like going through a wall of fear, and so what you kind of did in
okay.
breaking out. And that I think that's kind of you. And I think that's what people get out of, when they listen to you. Because
Well, I
listen,
hope that people listen and they realize that that's something they should do as well. Because I waited until I was 56 or whatever to walk through that wall of fear. And it's my hope that when people listen to me talk, that they say, "Hey, you know what? I should do this. If he can, it sounds like a joke, but if he could do it, I could do it." That's how I want people to view me and take away from any time they're talking. But there's
Yeah.
some things I shouldn't do, and today I really screwed up, okay?
Okay.
You can't do, it's like I got a Mike's Hot Honey hat on, I got my Mike's Hot Honey, damn, it's like, a little too much. Plus the thing in the back matches too. It's
Yeah,
a little over.
yeah.
But, but I really do hope that, I give people the opportunity to see that they don't have to, like suffer through what they're doing if it's something they don't like.
Yeah,
Because,
well, I mean, hey, you did things when you did them, and you have a life that you love. There's a lot of people who would have stayed in tech and suffered quietly until retirement, and not been fulfilled. But I've heard you say that, like, some people will come up to you and say, "Oh, I find you so inspiring," and your thing is kind of like, you tell them what you say when people say, "I find
really,
you."
what did I inspire you to do? And it's usually nothing, okay? I said, go out and do something, and it's true. But, it's funny you said, oh, you just, struggle along or whatever until you retire. The reason I did this, I wasn't going to be able to retire. I was gonna be doing that or living off of my children, okay, which is the last thing I'd ever want to do. So, like I like to say, you keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna keep getting what you get. So
Yeah, I also appreciate the honesty of your story. It was like, I kind of was like acting like a geek, but I wasn't really a geek like the geeks were, so I was kind of like in the wrong thing anyway.
yeah, and I'm
Right?
willing to admit that I was mediocre in my job and let people know that I was. I hope that other people recognize that if they're mediocre in what they do and they'd rather be doing something else, maybe they'll think, what, I can try that. I hear somebody else who did try it and it worked out for them. Maybe but it really was. I was, it took me a long time to realize that, I wasn't a corporate animal either. I'm not a competitive person whatsoever. Okay. The way that I compete is I don't compete at all. Okay. I love other people's pizza and I'm not afraid to tell people that. I wear a different hat every day. I wear that hat sometimes that you're wearing.
Yeah.
This is almost a little self-promotional because we use so much of it, right?
Right.
But I wear things to show people that, hey, it's about the pizza and I'm not trying to be better than anybody else. You'll never hear me say that my pizza is better than somebody else's. Somebody asks me about a place and I'm not crazy about the pizza, I will find something I like about the place and mention it to them. And hopefully they won't press me on the subject. But, it's not my place to say that anyway.
Yeah. Hey, so time for a confession from me. I'm the guy who's been making the videos where I take your head and stick it on somebody else's
Really?
body.
Those things are freaking brilliant. Brilliant. How do I get those things? Come on, you got to send them to me or something.
Okay, I'll send them.
I tried to download it off of Facebook. I could not figure that out.
I'll
That
send
thing
them
with me and Miriam and I guess it was Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then just yesterday, right? What was I got the cowbell roll.
The cowbell one, right?
Any roll. But why always those? Well, why always the four of us? What is it about?
Okay, so I want to explain to you. So for those of you who don't know, I use a program that allows me to take somebody's head out of a picture, stick it on a clip that is already existing in the program.
I know some people I'd like to do that too.
Oh, we'll have all kinds of fun, you and me. We'll create
No,
our own.
no, I'm talking about taking a head, putting on.
Oh,
I like to do that to a couple of people. You got to teach me that.
okay. We'll have that kind of fun too. All right. But in any case, if people don't know, some of them are dancing videos, some of them are just silly videos. I've done a couple with what I call the OGs, which include Paulie, Scott Wiener from Scott's Pizza Tours, Ed Levine from the founder of Slice, now Serious Eats, Adam Kubon, who was the managing editor there. And why is it always you guys? It's because I love that time period. That time period, when you guys were just like blogging away and it was back in the day. I don't know if you guys understand how important that piece of time and history is. And it's kind of weird to think like, oh, history, whatever, what am I doing in history? But it was very influential. It was, kind of now with Instagram, you can see what people are doing everywhere all the time. Back then, it was hard to know what was going on in pizza beyond what's in your neighborhood.
You had to read Slice. You had to read Slice, and it was, it was tricky. But you got to get me some of those because, my children, they swore off social media altogether. Okay, they used every opportunity they got to say that, they don't go on social media. And so I can't show them this stuff, right? So, but I'd love for them to see it.
I can send them to you easily. So we'll be doing that after we conclude here. You will have all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the stories that involve kind of some of the original gangsters that are in that, and some of those videos, like you say, one of them is the
Those people are anything but gangsters.
Will Ferrell cowbell skit from SNL, but another one is just like you guys are rock musicians. And you know, I love that time period. But you know, one of the stories that I've heard you talk about is you getting Adam Kubon to come to one of your tastings back Easter week in 2009. And until then, you'd basically been making pizza for family, right?
Yes, absolutely. They were probably, Scott came as well. And there was a woman from a paper in New Jersey. They were really the first ones who, you know, had anything to do with social media or anything. So yes.
There's a lot of people now that are kind of backyard pizziolos, and you know, maybe they're just starting to think about, do I want to make this my profession or own a restaurant, or how serious am I? But some of them, like you, are kind of making pizza for friends on a regular basis, either every other week or weekly or whatever. And I think a lot of them can kind of relate to this moment where you're going, okay, I'm going to try and get freaking Adam Kubon to come taste my pizza. What was that like? Were you nervous?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my whole goal was, you know, I mean, we were like pizza friends on Slice and everything, but I knew how influential he was, and I wanted him to like my pizza, right? So
Yeah.
I just, you know, oh, what happened?
I'm sharing in some screenshots.
Oh, good. The pizza madman. Yeah, no, of course I was. I wanted him to like the pizza. I didn't, but you know, I look back and I've said it to him, and he's probably, you know, upset with me when I say it. I said, you know, I'd get people, you know, drunk. I'd feed them limoncello. I'd feed them. They weren't going to write anything bad about me. You know, that's, you know, so it was more than just getting him to like my pizza. I knew it was kind of a safe thing. It wasn't like I owned a restaurant and, you know, some Pete Wells or somebody's going to come in and pontificate. Right. Yeah. So, you know, it really worked out well. And it kind of built up to that too. He had posted something on Slice about somebody else who, Kenji Alton and a friend of his from Harvard, I think, were, they did this thing on a guy in South Africa with a pizza oven. And I wound up getting him to come to my house and do one on me. He said, if you know anybody with a pizza oven lifestyle, let me know. So I let him know right away. And then, and I learned about it through Slice. Adam posted it, and then Adam reposted the story that the guy put on. It was goodeater.org.
Okay.
Josh Levin and Kenji Old.
Yeah.
And then Adam, and the key words were, Adam said, you know, Josh Levin and family, whatever, scored a pizza tasting at Paulie Gee's. So I know he was thinking positively about my pizza, and then I had to go whole hog to get him to come. So
yeah,
you know.
Is it true that this is?
I brought my son home from Colorado. He was, you know, on Easter break. He wasn't even on break actually. His birthday was that Sunday, Easter Sunday, and I got him to come back because I wanted somebody who, I tell this all the time. The Met fans hate me, but I'm sorry, it's true. It seems like I always needed somebody to work the oven, because if you look at the picture right there, I'm standing inside. That's where I make the pizza, right? But the oven was outside, and I couldn't work the oven and make the pizza. So, you know, I'd ask somebody to tend the oven, and usually certain people were better than others. And it always seemed to be the Yankee fans were better than the Met fans. The Met fans, I'd go out to put the pizza in the oven. It was dark, and they're sitting on the couch watching the game. Okay, so I brought my son home was the key. It was very important. I flew him home for that, and it was a key weekend too, because that's what I discovered, the part of Greenpoint where I just had to be. Yeah,
this is a young Paulie Gee making pizzas, huh?
I'm a young Paulie Gee right now. No,
that's true. That's true.
I don't look any older now, do I?
No, honestly, no. You
got the same hair.
Yeah, you got cooler glasses. That's all good, man.
I do. There you go. So those glasses now reside on a chef in the window of Paulie Gee's Slice Shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look on Instagram from yesterday. You'll see.
What about the bread machine?
Well, is it in the picture there?
It's in this picture. Hang on, let me get to the right picture. Hang on a second. I gotta get out of here and then I'm gonna, hold on one second. Let me get to this picture. I think it isn't, is that it here in this top left?
It's distorted for some reason.
Okay.
But I think that is it. But why is it on the side? Hang on.
I don't know.
Yeah, the picture's kind of squished together. But I don't know if
Yeah.
everybody else has seen it that way. But yes, that's it. The bread machine, that's how I made my dough.
Wow.
I made my dough. I think it was one dough ball at a time in the thing, and it worked great. It absolutely worked great. And today, as an homage, I have it sitting in the wood-fired spot on 60 Greenpoint Avenue.
Oh, you still have it at Greenpoint?
Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
oh yeah. Yep, it's just sitting there on full display.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is so awesome. And Adam said that he particularly enjoyed this photo with the steam coming off of the.
Oh, that's a great photo. He took great pictures that day. He really did.
Yeah.
Really did. Robin Lee used to be the photographer at Series Eats, but Adam was right there with her. Boy, look at that.
Yeah. Hey, were you already against pizza toppings that start with P back?
Yeah, I was, but I'm slowly chipping away at that.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ever have pepperoni, and I still don't at the wood fired spot. We have it obviously at the slice shops. That's different, but there were all kinds of things. I still won't put pasta on pizza, okay? But I've since I put pickles on pizza.
Wow.
Actually, Jason Weisberg from Paulie Gee's Miami put pickles on pizza on a Cubano pie. To call it a Cubano pie, he used kosher pickles, or so he said. And then pineapple, right?
Yep.
But you see, we pickle the pineapple so they cancel each other out. Oh, that's a good picture too. There's another one like with Scott looking up into the oven or something at night.
Okay.
See, there's Michael. Look, he was ready there. He was my helper.
That's
yeah,
so
what
awesome.
were we saying?
No, I just think that's awesome. I love that story because, again, so many people that I think now are kind of, they're home pizzaiolos, but their skill, the pies that they make are awesome. And
you got to keep in mind, if you're a hobbyist and,
yeah,
that's great. Okay. But I was not a hobbyist. I never made pizza in my life. And the only reason I did this is because I wanted to open up a place. Now when I first started exploring it, it was deep in my subconscious, but it was always that I wanted to open up a place. And that's why I did that. And I started telling people, okay, that I was going to do it. If you're out there and you're thinking about doing something, don't say you're thinking this or that. You just tell them, I'm going to open up a pizzeria. Okay, you got to speak it into existence. You put that commitment out there. Now you're forced to do it. Otherwise, you look like a fool. And probably if you enjoy looking like a fool, you probably wouldn't enjoy owning a pizzeria anyway. But you got to make those commitments, and you got to believe you can do it. Search the world over for proof that you could do it. I got my proof from Mark Iacano more than anybody else. Here was a guy. He never made pizza in his life either. But he opened up a place, and within, a week, he was the most popular pizzeria in New York.
Yeah.
So there was my belief there. And, you keep going. You got to search the world for that. You got to, wherever you can, to put that belief in you and keep it there. Yeah. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. So someone that we know from the Paulie Gee world is Miriam Weiskind, the ZA Report here on Instagram.
There we go.
She's making some pretty good looking pizzas and
great pizza. It's like, when did she put a Stefano Ferrara oven in her apartment? That's what I want to know. Because pizza looks unbelievable.
Yeah, no, she's great, and it's been fun to watch her as she gets tons of followers. She gets some coverage from New York Times, et cetera, and her pizzas look wonderful. So
yeah, she has a lot of passion. Scott from Scott's Pizza Tours. Yeah. I used to say to him, your only problem is you have this business and it's like, you don't own the business, you're self-employed because you're never, I said, you're never going to find somebody. It's going to be very difficult. I didn't say you're never going to find somebody. I wouldn't discourage them. But I said it's going to be really difficult to find somebody with as much passion, knowledge, and enthusiasm for pizza like you have. But when I met Miriam, I knew I was wrong about that. I remember I met her. I think I met her in Vegas the first time. We were sitting in a sports book. Well, I just got some pizza from the 550 place there in the area, I think it was. And, so she's always had that enthusiasm for pizza. So that's why she's doing so well now. And, the love of her mother just, drives her. Her mother was absolutely my biggest fan. It's just so, sad that Miriam never got to make pizza for her mother in my place. So it would be wonderful, but.
Yeah.
On every box, she says for mom, hearts, and that's special. Okay, that's what makes greatness. Okay,
Yeah.
when you have that kind of love for someone, and she's her muse.
Yeah.
Her mother, the spirit of her mother is Miriam's muse.
Yeah, that's really well put. I mean, Miriam is special, and as you say, it's sad that her mom is not here now, but at the same time, kind of lives on through Miriam's work, which is fantastic.
I had to scold her a little bit the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, she says, well, Chris, one of my guys from up here is going down to work in our slice shop in New Orleans, and she wrote something about, well, sort of like Chris is going down to show you how to make pizza in New Orleans. I said, whoa. It ain't like that, okay? There's great pizza down here already. So, which is, by the way, what a great town that is. Every time I go down there, I find new food. I mean, that's why I want to open up down there. I'd love to visit down there. Man, I got a great deal on a space, unfortunately, thanks to the pandemic. But it's a great spot down there. And my goal was to build it to look just like the slice shop in Greenpoint, and we hit the nail on the head.
Oh wow.
But I didn't make it a New York pizzeria. I wasn't going to have Yankee pictures on the walls. I wasn't going to have, so I have pictures, and Johnny is going to be putting them up soon, of all New Orleans sports figures, Louisiana sports figures. And I have Louisiana music up there. I have my father's Louis Prima album that used to hang in the slice shop here. And it's really come out great. Now we just got to get people to work,
Right. Yeah.
We actually we're finally starting delivery today. We have enough people on staff who are strong enough that we can start doing delivery today. So
that's great. That's great. Yeah. No, it's a awesome town. A lot of good food culture. I think that, like you say, it's sad with what kind of the pandemic, what happened, but at the same time, it's like now you're sort of set to just take off, and I think that'll be great. I think that they'll love it.
Yeah, no, I hope so. Well, they do love it so far. We've had great reviews. We really have great reviews, and this is the rough time of year in New Orleans too. It's kind of it will give us an opportunity to really fine tune things before people start showing up in droves, because nobody stays in New Orleans in the summer. It's just it's brutal. But, But we cater to the locals. I'm not trying to cater to tourists. It's a huge tourist town, right?
Right.
But you go to New Orleans, you're gonna say, "Oh, I gotta go get some pizza." Not a chance in the world. You're gonna go get some etouffee. You're gonna get some, shrimp and grits. You're gonna get one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. If you go to New Orleans, go to Toop's Meadery. Chris, who just went down there, said 5 people told him to go there. This venison medallions with, and if, you know what, if you're vegetarian or vegan, forget it. Throw it out the window and just go get this dish. That's how good it is, okay? Venison medallions with some kind of berry thing, that contrasted with it. And some black pepper spatzel. I say that right? Spatzel?
Spatzel? I think so, yeah.
Spatzel. Really, really great stuff. So that's what you got to do. Yeah. So we have to cater to the locals there. We got to work on that, and we're in an area where there are a lot of people work come during the day.
With the heat and humidity, did you have to tweak your dough recipes and stuff, or is it all just controlled atmosphere in
Well,
the shop?
the thing is, we got great air conditioning in the place,
Okay,
so
okay.
we don't have to worry about heat and humidity, but what we do have to worry about is the water. And fortunately, the former pizzeria owner who was there knew that they had to worry about the water, and they had this very sophisticated water filtration system that we inherited. And you know, Drew Brown came down to get the place started. Drew and Shahir, who works with us in Brooklyn, and Dylan. And right away, they figured out what to do with the water filtration, and now we're golden. You know, I don't like to say it, but the pizza, you know, I've seen some pizza down there that was better than Greenpoint. So, but yeah, we're getting it right.
That sounds awesome.
Well, the reason, some of that reason was that we're using older dough.
Uh-huh.
Because,
Yeah.
we weren't that busy yet, and so
Right.
we're making more dough than we needed, and we pushed it. We didn't want to throw it away. It's challenging because the gluten strands stop breaking down, and
Mhm.
you get too many bubbles and holes. But that really made the stuff come out good. So, as far, I wish we had more refrigeration space in Greenpoint so that we could stretch our process out. But if you're
Right.
opening up a pizzeria, we don't even have a walk-in in New Orleans.
You don't?
We do not have a walk-in. No.
Just
No,
reach-ins? Just
yeah,
reach-ins?
we got all kinds of refrigeration. We're making it work. I don't know what we'll do if it really gets busy, but we'll figure it out. But you need to be able to, time, is a beautiful thing to fermentation. So you
Uh-huh.
need to be able to give it some.
Okay, well, I know you're super busy, so I think we're gonna leave it here.
I told you I wasn't super busy. You're just out of questions. And
I'm
you're
just,
worried about
I'm
just
not,
going over.
no, believe me, once we get started, I'm actually, um, it's sort of funny because I was listening to another interview with you and it made me laugh. I think it was with Ed Levine, because I started counting like how many times you told him, hold on a second, we're gonna get to that or something. It was pretty funny. It just made me laugh. It made me laugh, Paulie. So,
Well, I'm glad you had me back on. To be on more than once, that's great. I'll
yeah,
show you with my double mics out honey thing. So.
no, we're really happy that
Big news, big news. I don't know if it's today
yeah,
or tomorrow, but Mike did a collaboration, a 6-point beer, a slice. I forget what it's called, with 6-point. It's meant to pair with pizza, and I believe it's being launched today, tomorrow. It may even be over at my shops now. So,
oh wow,
you guys should look out for that. All right.
it's an amazing story. I love it. It's just so cool. And Mike's Hot Honey has a treasured spot in my pantry here at home. So no, it's been wonderful talking to you, Paulie. Like I said, I know you hate it when people say that they find you inspiring, but I'm going to tell everybody what Paulie says. Go out and do something with that, right? So
If you want any help doing it, you give me a ring. Okay.
sounds great. Sounds great. Well, thank you so much, sir. We're going to let you go. And we hope to talk to you without a whole nother year going by. All right.
I hope so too. Sounds good. I hope to see you. Hope to see you in August in the 120-degree heat in Vegas.
Absolutely.
We're still on. I keep checking. It's still on.
We're going to be there, so we hope to see you there.
If it's on, I'm there.
Sounds wonderful.
All right, great. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much, Paulie. Take care.
You too.